All right. Okay. So everybody, welcome to the Beauty Business Mindset Podcast. This is Celeste, and today we have a special guest. So let's get close to this situation. So being multi-passionate, it's something that has always been kind of frowned upon, being part of the beauty industry. You have to specialize. And, I always thought about the specialization and just being specialized in one area of beauty. But having been able to travel and be in different industry professionals and, people with bigger influence and all the behind the scenes and brands and everything, I've learned that most people have multi-passions and multi-businesses. So I started diversifying my income, and especially with the 2020, the 2020, we'll just leave it at that happened. It was really important to me. And I wanted to do this special episode. I wanted to invite somebody that I've been watching in my own community who's doing this as well. I feel like just from watching her, she's so kind, and I feel she's very inclusive of other businesses. And you guys know I'm all about empowering. So it's very important to me. And that's why I invited Julia to be our special guest today. Hi, Julia.
Hey. Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. And this is the first time that we meet.
Yes.
So like in video, because we haven't even met.
I've been following you for a while. I love what you do.
Thank you. And it's all been done through social media. So that's why I always tell you guys. You never know the power behind social media. We're always interacting with one another and just watching each other. And there's other people are doing the same thing too. So can you introduce yourself to us and tell us all about business?
Yeah. So my name is Julia Marble. I started my store, Bell Farm Collective, in October of 2020 because of COVID. So I was working in weddings and events at a resort in Santa Rosa. I got laid off in March of 2020, like a lot of people did because of COVID. And then I was looking for a way to be able to be home with my son, who's now 2, and be able to help my parents more with their business, Flying Cloud Farm, which is a wedding and event facility in Petaluma. So I got the idea to start my own business during that time, and it has been honestly like the biggest blessing. But I have, I think, 45 local makers and creators in store now. So I have everything from home decor and goods, really unique gifts, bath and body products, clothing, accessories, all sorts of different types of items. And I love to promote the makers that I have in store. So I'm on Instagram pretty much every day, and I'm promoting the new products and tagging them. And it's really, really cool to see the just how many people started making things during COVID, especially. There's a lot of people that got to get into their creative side because of, downtime at work or whatever it was. So my main thing is my store that I started, but like I said, I get to help my parents more with their business, Flying Cloud Farm. So I started doing all of the social events. So all the baby showers and the bridal showers and birthday parties, I took that over for my mom. And I'm trying to help her more with the weddings too, so she can hopefully retire someday. So I'm trying also to connect the two too, because now I have more like event type items in store too. So it can be kind of like a one-stop shop for our couples or for people planning their events. They can, have all of the assistance with their decor and gifts and, bridal party gifts and all that sort of thing from the store. But then also I can help them with all their planning at the event center too. So yeah, those are my 2 big things that I have going on right now. Oh, I think you're muted.
There we go.
There we go. I thought it was me at first.
But I love that you're doing all that because you're able to support other people in your community and different businesses, and also and just to share a little background, I've been watching you, and you use different parts of your property. Like there is like the picnic setups, and it just also photo shoots and bridal, and it's all intertwined, and it's just so beautiful to see your creativity also go along to different,
Beyond.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
beyond what everybody thinks, like, just
Yeah.
when, just, like a store. It's like you're really using a
Yeah.
creativity to also help others
Yeah,
around.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm always trying to think of like something new and exciting, either for people to come experience on the property because we have 33 acres. So, I mean, and it's my family's property, so it's a very private thing. So we can have people come out for doing fun photo shoots or doing a fun picnic, or, all those really unique things that people can experience out here. I think that's the biggest thing, is making an experience for people and not limiting myself to what having a store means, or doing an event. I want to try to do new things too and bring in more people.
Yeah, and I love that. So what do you think, for somebody who's thinking about having like a multi-business, kind of like you have and I do too, what is one of the first like roadblocks or mindset blocks that were stopping you in the beginning that you have to like really overcome?
Well, there's a few. I mean, one is just your time, right? I also have a 2-year-old, so it's like, how do I find the time to make sure I'm putting in all my, like, I want to do things well too. So you don't want to feel like you're not giving your full self to each thing that you're doing. So for me, it was really finding like good processes for me that kept me on
Mhm.
track. So I try to find as many routines as I can for each of them. So at this time I'm doing this, at this time I'm doing this, and finding a good routine for me that made it so I wasn't slacking in certain areas was my biggest thing. So, and that does take time. And I think also being kind on yourself when you feel overwhelmed, and taking time to, today I just need to relax. I've been working for 7 days straight. How about today I do some, self-care? So I think it's just checking in with yourself a lot, because you don't have, like, when you're working for somebody else, you have these goals that they're putting on you, and you can be there for 40 hours and you get to go home and check out, but it's not like that when you're working for yourself. So there's obviously a lot of benefits to that, but you also have to be kind of structured, but also giving yourself some time. So I think as long as you work on yourself and figure out your structures, everything else kind of falls into place. So it's just like constantly checking in with yourself, giving yourself
Yeah.
breaks, and just creating kind of the structure but balance.
Yeah, and I think it's so important, like what you were saying, like we all need to have systems in place. Like I always talk
Yeah.
about, people think I live on social. I actually do not.
Yeah.
Actually only do social 4 days a week. I love automation. I love having a lot of things automated, things
Yeah,
where you get the information right away without needing.
absolutely.
And I love how you say that too. Like we need to be kind to ourselves. Like
Hmm.
a while to get the rhythm going. It didn't
Yeah.
happen overnight. And like,
Yeah.
woo,
No,
look at
it
all this
does
free
not.
time.
It definitely does not happen overnight. And it's a learning progress, and it's always going to be a learning progress. Growth is a learning progress. If you want to take on new things, you're not going to know everything. So, also accepting help from other people, realizing that somebody else might know something better than you do, and that's okay. So, yeah, you just have to be very open minded, willing to grow, willing to learn new things, willing to change up your processes to kind of like always be fine tuning that. So I think more than anything, it's really like a self discovery thing, because you have to be kind of your best version to be able to do multiple things and feel like you can balance it all. So yeah, I mean, it's really fun, but it is also always a work in progress, and that's okay.
And I really love how you say that. So let's talk about that, being the best version of yourself. So I know a lot of people like tell me, like I get DMs and emails that I'm very like motivational or inspirational or my cheerleader, which I love that one. That one made me laugh. Uh, but it's not about that. For me, it's really, I try to share what has worked for me and
Yeah,
what keeps me motivated and what keeps me going and growing,
yeah,
because it's hard. Like I have 3 kids and I have a
yeah,
2-year-old. So I feel you.
yeah. You've got a lot on your plate.
Yeah. But, having a systems in place and also
Yeah,
give grace and space for the magic is very important.
yeah,
And
so important.
yeah, and it's taking time to be like you say, the best version of yourself. So like
Yeah.
for you, what does the best version of yourself mean to you?
Um, well, I think the biggest thing is don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. because, well, comparison is the thief of joy. There's a lot of these little quotes, you know, that you can kind of say to yourself, because like you said, what works for somebody else may not be what works for you. Everybody's very different. So you have to kind of learn who you are and figure out like what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are. If you're having an off day, that's okay. Everybody has them, but learn how to be a like problem solver for yourself, like how to pick yourself back up. Let yourself have those days. Some days you have days where everything goes wrong, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, if one more thing happens, but that's just gonna be today. And then tomorrow, you know, I've learned how to, after having a rough day, the next day is usually the most productive day of the week, because learning how to pick yourself back up and figure out, okay, well, what's the solution to this? Everybody's going to have an issue. What's the way to solve this? So always looking for solutions for myself, and just giving myself time to figure things out and not be so hard on myself. Not comparing myself to what other people are doing. Recognizing your own like successes and wins, you know, whether that's like, maybe I've been busy at the store and the event center all weekend. Like this last weekend, I did not have a chance to do anything in my house. So this morning, first thing I did, I got up early and I started doing everything around my house to not make myself feel like I'm starting off the week on a good foot, you know? So just like the constantly checking in and making, what am I going to feel better about? What's like sitting in the back of my mind that I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't done this yet. I need to do this, do that thing first. Because if I let that sit, I'm not even going to be able to focus on anything else until I figure out what's kind of bothering me the most at that current moment, and kind of like figuring out what that is and fixing that first.
And that's so true. Like, I think a lot of people, like, you know, we get so bombarded everywhere, especially on do this, do that, the new thing, the
It's
new
very
thing. Overwhelming. And I think it's important that you go back. I always say focus on the 5%. I learned this from one of my mentors, and it's so true. Like some days my 5%, it's not gonna be priority to keep my house super nice and tidy. Like it's gonna be a little messy, but nobody's gonna get hurt. It will be wait till the next day, you know? And there's some days where, you know, my family needs to come first, and it's okay. I do not have to be on all the time. And I really wanted to go into this next part for our, you know, podcast and a conversation about the guest experience. So I know in the beginning it can be very tempting. Like you want to serve everybody and get every client. But I really truly, like for me, and that's why I would love for you to share your opinion on this too. For me, it's really important to specialize, like who is your ideal client, who is the people that you want to work and serve. And abundance for all, we're going to go into that. But what are your mindset shifts that had helped you in regards to client experience and specializing in that area with your businesses?
It's a really good point, because at the beginning of the store, I hadn't had any experience with it. I was growing my customers, I was growing my awareness. So I felt like anybody that even stepped foot or looked on my website or whatever I had any interaction with, I wanted them to feel like I could do something for them, which I think was important at the beginning, because you want people to feel connected. But I also was bending over backwards. So if somebody was looking for something very specific, I would spend my time and look for that item for them, or figure out how to get it made for them, or whatever it is, which was good in the beginning. But you can't do that. You can't spend all your time on finding things that you don't even currently have in your store. You know, you just only have so much time in the day. So I instead started growing what I wanted to sell, what I liked from people that were bringing to my store. Because I also, from my vendors, I would just kind of accept whatever they wanted to bring me at the beginning too, because I didn't really know what I was doing yet. But then as time went on, I started realizing I had to have specific things that fit into a display that was going to look nice, that people were like, oh, I want to buy that, or that looks good together, or whatever. So I started being a little bit more picky about what I was putting in the store, because I felt comfortable with selling it. It was something that I would want to buy, or something that I thought would do well. So I started kind of fine-tuning what I was actually bringing onto my plate, instead of just taking anything and everything. And that was way more successful than going out and trying to find something that one person wants, and they spend all that time doing that, and that was just a one-time thing, you know. So just making it a little bit more universal and making it a little bit easier on myself actually helped me so much more and had a much better client experience than kind of going after one individual thing here and there. And then same thing for the weddings and events and social events too. You kind of set the groundwork on what you find out what works best for you, right? Because if
Mhm.
you're not doing your best work and something that you're most comfortable in, it's not going to come across to the client as well. So if I know that this kind of setup works at the event center and I can rent these certain things for them and you can make it very customized, but as long as you have your kind of framework that works, you know, it works in the space, you know, it works for the client experience, you know, it works for all of their guests who arrive, you do know the best, you are the professional in that situation. So you can guide people and make customizations, but you kind of have to set that framework for yourself.
And I think it's very important, because like for me, I love setting it up from the beginning. I know I'm a
Yeah,
little bit weird and a little bit unicorn type of status because as
yeah,
soon as I got to the industry, I wanted to specialize from the beginning before it was popular. I was specializing because there's certain people that I want to work with, not because I'm excluding anybody. It's not about that. It's my specialty. It's what
yeah,
I'm passionate about. When things get hard and I'm tired, I am pumped up to go to work.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pumped up to do that service. And for me, it's better for even the client experience that they know
yeah,
this is passion and they can feel it, they can
yeah,
see. And of course, like I'm not gonna lie, when you specialize, you get to charge a little bit
yeah,
more.
yeah. Yeah, because you become more of an expert in that too, right? And if you spend all your time working on one specific thing, you get really good at doing that specific thing. And if it's something you're passionate about, you get someone that's an expert and passionate. Like, what's better than that? That's who I want to go and I want to find someone that's the best at what they do and they're excited to be doing it. That's who
Yeah.
I want to work with, or that's who I want to hire. And so you have to be that version. And I think the energy you put into it is such an important thing. If you're having a really off day, that's going to portray to people and they're not going to feel excited when they walk in the store. If someone walks in the store, I want to be excited to see them. I am genuinely excited to see them. I'm happy they drove out. Like, it's not that far out, but it's not downtown. So they had to make the effort to come and see me, right? So I want to make sure that they feel like they get the full experience when they're there. And I want to get to know them. I appreciate their driving out and I want to get to know who they are and how they found me and all of that. It's really like a two-way street. What I put out there, I receive back. So
And I love how you said that.
yeah.
And so talking about that, you know how you work with different vendors, like you work with
Hmm.
multiple vendors and you have your two businesses. What has been the biggest shift and advice you can give to somebody in regards to collaboration and the whole shift in mindset over competition? Because I know, especially like in the bridal
Yeah.
industry, hair industry, it's like I'm like, we're not in competition. There's room for all of
Yeah.
us. We not service everybody. Even if I
Yeah.
want to not. I'm
I
physically
always I always found that interesting because I've never really felt there is any need for competition. Like you said, you can't serve everybody. And especially in 2022, like we have caterers that are booked up for October Saturdays already. And we're trying to find, like, there's so many people having events right now. There's only so many dates in a year and everybody wants a weekend date. So you have to have some relationships to give advice. Oh, how about you try this person, or we're not available, but try this place. Like every venue is unique, every vendor is unique, and I think it's a very personal decision on who you work with. I always tell people, like, get on the phone with someone and just talk to them. Is that somebody that you want to spend, if it's a wedding, do you want to spend your wedding day with that vendor, because you'll be in close contact with them probably all day. So is that like, do you have energy that matches? It's a very personal um experience for people. So I think that it's good to have options. You don't want to we only work with this one person, because everybody's different. So and then as far as like, everybody brings something different to the table too. So if you have the same venue that you're using over and over again, it's probably a good idea to use different vendors, because you're going to get a different thing every time. We can do a similar setup and it's going to be a completely different event because of what somebody else brought to the table. So I mean, it's just, there's so many more like exciting opportunities if you're just willing to work with people than if you're very closed off. photographers too. Like we have new photographers all the time and they take amazing photos in locations I've never thought of before. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's such a great idea, you know? So
Yeah.
it just, if nothing else, it actually brings more people to you because it shows like your versatility more if you're willing to work with more people. And then with the store too, I want to promote all my vendors and stuff because I want people to see their work and then go to their Instagram and see all of their other stuff that they do. Maybe sometimes somebody will go directly to them if they want to place an order or something. That's okay. It's probably going to come back tenfold to me because I'm not closing people off. I don't want that like competitive feel to that. That's just not a good feeling to have. So I want people to get more business and they're going to be selling in other stores too. So it's not like I'm the only one that has their stuff. So why not like show them every place they can go get it? It just is a better experience for everyone, I think.
Yeah, it really is. And you help out not only your business grow, but you help your community, you help other small businesses. Like together, we can grow so much more with everything.
Yeah.
Like in every type of industry, even with like big education, small education, big businesses,
Yeah.
we all need support. We
Yeah,
cannot do it
exactly.
alone.
If I'm supporting all of them and I have like if I'm supporting let's say 40 people and they're all tagging me or supporting me too, like that's branching out too. So it's just always going to be better to support people than to close it off. It just you want people to feel like you're supporting them. So yeah, and I have so many ways that people come here too. So if somebody's making something and they only sell in my store, maybe one other place, that's only a couple places for them to get some exposure. Maybe they're selling online too, but I already feel like I have an advantage by I also have all the people that come here for the events, and that's kind of an established business that's going. And then, I do the picnics with Picnic Potential a lot, and she brings people here for the picnic. So she's promoting me all the time too, and she gets new people here. So I feel like it doesn't have to be so closed off. There can always be room for more people to grow and come in and see what's going on. So
I love that.
yeah.
So how do you handle have you ever had mom guilt during your whole business ventures of having two
Yeah,
business at home, and how have
for
you dealt?
sure. Well, I mean, in comparison, because I did go back to work for a bit before COVID. I had just gone back from maternity leave. I was there for a couple months. I did talk my way into going back part-time because the thought of being away from him full-time was like unfathomable. I wouldn't even be able to sleep if I had to be away from him that much. We're just really close. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise when I got laid off, and it was like an extended maternity leave. And I did like enjoy that time for quite a while. And then as he got a little bit older and he was more willing to spend time like with the grandparents and everything, I felt a little bit better. But you still always feel that. And I think that's the thing with the systems is like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I want to do is like take care of a bunch of stuff and feel like I'm getting productive with my day. But the first thing he wants to do is spend time with his mom. So like I try to give myself time with just him so that he feels like we have that bonding time. And then maybe if he's like actively playing in something and he's very much like into his own thing, then I'll get on my computer for a little bit and respond to some emails. But if he starts coming over to me and like really wanting my attention, I have to remember that I'm not always going to have this time with him. So it's okay to put, the work aside for a little bit and go and play with him. But I try to actively engage him as much as I can too. So I just showed him that there's letters on the keyboard and he can type that. So he sets up on his little iPad and presses the letters next to me. Or, we're doing laundry together. I have him help me put the socks in the dryer, like actively engaging him in what I'm doing and talking to him as much as I can has helped a lot. And just, it's really hard to shut it off if you feel like you need to get work done, but I have to kind of listen to what he's needing. So it's always, every day is a little bit different, but I just try to be there as present as I can throughout the week. And then on the weekends, I usually have my mother-in-law, my husband's home and stuff too, so they get their time with him. So it just depends on what's going on in the time being. But I realize that I do have to work to be able to stay home with him too. So I have to kind of like justify it to yourself a lot too.
Yeah, and it's going to be different for everybody. And I just wanted to share this. So I did not spend the first first 2 years with my daughter.
Yeah,
I was working, I was in beauty school, I was traveling, I became an educator, I was doing all these things, right?
yeah,
And my son too. So, but I have to support my husband. And it's okay, guys. It's going to be different for everybody. Now I have my
yeah,
third. With my third child, this whole COVID thing happened. So it's been totally different. I have to spend time with her. I
Yeah.
have systems in place. So now I only work 5-hour days. There's been so many changes. It takes time. And that's the beauty of motherhood. I really believe we each have our own systems and we're going to
So
figure it out.
true. Yeah. And
One
if
way.
you're working full time, you're supporting your child and you're giving them a great life. If you're home with them, you're giving them personal time and you're giving them a great life. No matter what you're doing, you're still giving your child a great life, no matter what it is. Like it comes in so many different forms. And if you're being like the most authentic version of yourself, like we talked about before, that's going to be the best thing you can give them. If you're miserable and then you come home and you have, 2 hours of time and you don't give them any attention, I mean, it's just, you have to do what's right for you. And then when you do have your time with them, your bonding time, as long as you're as present as you can be during that time, I think that's the most important thing. The hours in the day don't matter as much as long as when you are with them, you can put some time. So, but again, yeah, that does look really different for everybody. And
Yeah. And I think it's important that we emphasize that too, because I know sometimes we feel guilty because everybody says we should be
yeah,
doing this or that. And I just like, it works different for
for
everybody
everybody.
in your business too. There's
Yeah.
times growing and booming and it's going to have to take a little bit this way for a little while. It doesn't have to be like
Yeah.
that forever, but like you say, being present in the moment is
It's the
so.
best thing you can do. If it's an hour, that's great. If they really only need small amounts of time to feel really connected. I've learned that a lot.
Yeah.
Because if I just haven't given him any time any day, all day, it's way different than if I've spent even like 15 minutes with him, like really actively playing. And then he seems a lot better, So it's just, yeah, you got to do what works for your family for sure.
Exactly. So where are you going next? What's next? Are you thinking about what's exciting that are you seeing right now in the industry booming? Like what are some things that you're excited about?
I'm excited about this year. It's going to be really busy because the first year of COVID, we couldn't do any events really. It was like a 12-person maximum, 3-family group. So we're pretty backed up from all of that. Last year, we did do quite a few, and they're mainly all outdoor weddings and stuff. But this year, like all the baby shower requests, bridal showers, birthdays, weddings, like it is booking up so fast. So I think right now I'm just really excited to see what happens in 2022. I think there's going to be some really fun new things we haven't seen too. A lot of the picnics, are going to be happening again too, and those get to be really specialized. So like there's one coming up where they're going to do like a little like kids movie night in the solarium behind the store, which is going to be really fun. So I'm just excited to see all the new stuff that pops up this year. And then hopefully I'll be able to expand some more with the store. I have some more event space that I'm hoping to expand into. So hopefully that happens this year. When the weather gets good, there's a lot more options for things to be able to do outside, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then hopefully we're going to be doing some like this year, I really want to plant a little like pumpkin patch and have some pumpkins available at the store, and like fun stuff like that, like actually utilizing the property more and stuff. So yeah, it's just going to be fun. It's just going to be really busy and a lot happening, which hasn't been the case in the last couple of years. So that's going to be really fun to see.
I love that. So for sure, the theme for 2022 is going to be personalizing like the event or your service
Yes.
with your client. So,
Mm-hmm.
personalize
Yeah,
for all of us in business.
exactly. Yeah.
What are some things that you want to share before we end this podcast? And I really want to appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to share with all of us about all of
Yeah.
the.
I think everybody has to start when they're ready. I think for a long time, I wanted to do something and I knew I wanted to do something different and I wanted to do something on my own, but I don't think I was ready until the time presented itself. So it's okay if you have in the back of your mind, like, oh, I really want to do something on my own, or I have like half an idea of something I want to do. Like, just keep putting effort into it, and kind of like making notes of things for me was a big thing. Like I would write down the qualities of what I wanted in my next job, or like whatever it was I wanted in my life. I would literally just write it down and kind of look at that. Sometimes I put it aside and I come back, I'd see it a year later. I'm like, oh my gosh, that came true. Like
Yeah.
you can manifest things, even if you don't know what it is, just keep putting it out there, talk to people about it. Make connections with people. If you talk to someone and you're really excited about their energy, whatever it is, like just talk to them, because it can kind of bring up those positive things in your life. So the unexpected good things can happen from things like COVID. I never would have expected I would have been where I'm at, but it took something like that to happen. So just kind of give yourself some grace if you are in the position where you're thinking you want to do something different and it's maybe just not the right time for you. It will happen if you keep putting it out there and putting work towards it.
I love that you say that because I think it's so true. Like right now, you guys, this year I'm gonna release something huge, okay? But I can't talk about it yet. But I've been working on this for a long time. But that's what I mean. Like, and I feel like now everything is aligning. But I think it's so beautiful what you say. Like I love writing. Yeah, it's all about timing and writing and journaling. Like I just believe like on paper, you'd be surprised.
It's crazy.
What comes
Paper
out.
is something different than, writing stuff down is so different than, and I wasn't really into that before, but enough times it happened where I just had to get it out. Like these are the qualities that I want. I wanted something I could be creative. I wanted something that was on my own. It was some, just all these different things that I had it kind of envisioned that would be like, oh, that would be like the perfect setup for me. If I just write that down, you start to figure it out and navigate it a little bit better. And being open to like just doing what works for you in the moment and growing from that. So I didn't start with like a lot of money to get it started. I just really, I started a lot on consignment, and then I started buying more wholesale when I had more of the funds. I didn't start with a lot of money to do it. But then kind of like upping the orders every time, and you start to be able to grow a little bit more. Like you can start off small. You don't have to start with this huge loan from, some place to get all of this stuff going. I started really small and I did not have a lot of things when I started, but things grow over time. So
yes,
you can build it up from not very much. If you just have an idea, you'll figure out how to kind of get started.
Yeah. And it's so true. And I hope like everybody who's listening to this podcast and also watching it, because there's two versions of it. Big takeaway. You can start with zero. I seriously, I know website and all this stuff. It took years. Okay.
Yeah.
With no website. I did my education, my videos. I started with like the Samsung, like flimsy little phone. I have not started with everything. I have gotten scrappy. I'm like, how can I do this? How can I get experience? How can I get started? And as you grow and you evolve, you can get, more specialized. You can invest in different things. But I think the most important
things out.
Is start with what you have.
Yeah, start with what you have. Yeah, same. And I didn't know anything about this industry. I had never worked in retail before. I'd never had to create a website before. I didn't know how to get a business license. Google is your best friend from the get-go. Google is your best friend.
People think I lie. I'm like, seriously, Google is my BFF. Like,
if I don't know something, I Google it. Like, it's all, and especially at the beginning. And it can be a little confusing. So sometimes you have to like sift through some different places online or whatever and try to figure out the best thing. You can call somebody and ask specialized questions and stuff, but just start researching, like, how do I start a business in Sonoma County? How do I, just start at the very beginning. And then anytime you have a question, just Google it. That's what I did. And, then I created a website. I didn't know how to do that, but I figured it out. I bought a domain name. I'm like, somehow I have a website now. And somehow I have all this inventory, but it just started, I didn't know any of it. And if you're passionate about it, you will figure out how to get going on it. So but Google saved me.
Google is my BFF still.
I know.
So we find you. Tell us. Where can we find you on Instagram, your website?
Yes. So my Instagram, everything is pretty much Bell Farm Collective. So my Instagram handle is Bell Farm Collective. I'm also on Facebook at Bell Farm Collective. My website, www.bellfarmcollective.com. I post mostly on Instagram. I'm pretty much trying to do kind of daily updates. I post a lot to my stories and a lot on my feed. So you can kind of check me out there. I just started a TikTok too, Bell Farm Collective. So I'm going to do some fun stuff there. That was exciting. I was very nervous to get started on TikTok, but it blows up people's businesses. So I'm hoping for that. And then I have my store hours on my Instagram and on my website, since I am a little bit further removed from kind of like the downtown shopping area. I'm pretty much open like once a weekend for open hours, and then I'm always open by appointment too. And then that'll hopefully I'll add some more hours during the summertime too.
Oh, Julia. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, your willingness to be on video with me.
Yes,
With-
absolutely.
I'm excited to share this with everybody. So thank you
Of
so much.
course. It was so nice to talk to you.
I know, so nice to talk to you too. So
All right.